Recording. Think it's recording. Yeah, it has a little thing. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Angel, and I'm super duper happy to have you all here, either live or on the replay. And I want to just kind of give you an overview as to why I want to have this beautiful trip, the Bhutan Happiness Journey. And also, we have the organizers here, Matt and Manisha, and so they will also introduce themselves in a moment. But yeah, so I'm Angel on social media. I'm also known as Happy Energy Journey, so it's no surprise that the trip is called Bhutan Happiness Journey. And I also have a Yummy Retreats page, and yummy food is super important to me. So there you go. Combination of happiness, we are all on a journey. And when I kind of got to hear more and more and more about Bhutan, I linked up the concepts of happiness and a journey and retreats and yummy food and just a beautiful discovery of another culture. And I reached out to my Bhutan in the personas of Matt and Manisha, and they have been putting together an itinerary that we can all enjoy in Bhutan. And it's going to consist of, I'll just give just a few points, but it's going to consist of discovering the landscapes of Bhutan, the culture of Bhutan, the traditions, as well as the modern customs of the country. We will also be able to get to observe some of the spiritual ceremonies, the spiritual practices, the food, of course, the local food, um, getting to meet some farmers and learn a bit about how they produce their food locally. And we'll also have personal free time where you won't be busy 24/7. You'll have a few hours to relax if you wish or stroll around. Maybe there's something that you really want to do on the trip. Maybe you're interested in art, maybe you're interested in music, maybe you want to go for a walk. Anything you want to do, there'll be some time as a part of the itinerary to do that. I'll also be leading meditations, as well as if you want to add journaling to that. And it's really going to be a really beautiful experience because we'll be able to spend time outdoors as well. A lot of us are indoors most of the year and most of the day. And so, because it's a country that really puts a lot of emphasis on preserving the natural environment, with, as far as I have found in my research, over 70% of the country remains let's say natural green, with tree coverage and foliage coverage, which is huge compared to some places where some of us actually live or have visited. And so that's going to be a really beautiful experience too, not only to see the beautiful architecture of Bhutan, we'll also be able to appreciate the beautiful natural environment. So I'm going to wrap myself up here, pass the baton over to Matt and Manisha to introduce themselves, and then we will also go through some questions and answers that will help any concerns or doubts or anything like that that you might have. So I'm going to hand it over to the My Bhutan team from here. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Angel. And it's been a really fun, exciting journey already for me because it's been lovely working with you, and also I can really understand and feel how great connectivity there will be between your community and Bhutan. So really excited to see that nurture and grow and Bhutan is a really special place, and I think everybody. It's not one of the normal places where people just go because it exists. It's a place that I think everyone who does visit has a reason why they're visiting, and it's it's very there's a connection that probably pre-exists um, with you and Bhutan that is very unique to itself. And so I think everyone will find and realize the meaning as to why they are coming to Bhutan as they go through this journey with all of us together. I think it'll be different for everyone. And so just, really excited to have you all visit and experience that and really absorb what Bhutan is and how special it is compared to the rest of the world because of its ability to really, as you had mentioned, to stick to its core values and to respect and love the space that exists between people and other sentient beings and the nature that surrounds us. And so, yeah, I think that the community that you all are within will really feel deeply connected with Bhutan. I'm excited to see that interconnectivity grow. So we're a team in Bhutan. We're a small team, but we really focus on building really rare special access experiences in country and really tune in on more connectivity with really getting as local as you can. And so you'll find that you'll be introduced to a lot of people who are really specialized in unique trades in country and entering into small villages and as you mentioned, meeting the farmers behind the scenes. And it's the heart and soul of Bhutan. And so really excited for you all to visit. And I will pass it to Manisha to say hello.
Hi everyone, my name is Manisha and I will be the journey coordinator of your trip and I will be the direct contact for every queries, every questions and anything you need. So I will be there so you can always have me by your side over the trip. So we are very excited for this trip and we want everyone to come and visit Bhutan because we have so much and lot to give back to you and memories that you will take with you. And yeah, it will be very, very beautiful and special memories you will take back home. So yeah, we are very excited to welcome you all.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Manisha, and thank you, Matt.
Mhm.
So, without further ado, I'm just going to jump into the question and answer
Questions?
portion.
Yeah.
And the first question that we have here is regarding altitude and altitude changes. We know that Bhutan is located in the Himalayan mountains. For those
Yes.
of us who are not used to mountainous areas, maybe we visited one or two cities that are, over a mile high or a couple of kilometers high, but, probably not as high as the Himalayas. So, the first question is regarding how can we prepare more or less for the high altitude changes in Bhutan if we're not used to those altitudes?
Mm. Yes, a great question. It's a very common one that we receive because I think that the initial thought is that that you will be in very high altitude throughout the entire trip. And in fact, Bhutan is by square footage the highest altitude country in the world. So for very good reason, that makes sense that you would feel that way. Um, but I would like to just step back and say that I think that it's a concern more than it is a reality for people visiting Bhutan because um, the majority of the time that you will be in country, you will be in the valleys. Most of the valleys will range anywhere from 2,000 to 2,200 meters. Some will drop down to about, in the 1,000 meter range. And then the highest valley that we will be in will likely be in the 2,800 meter range. So um, we aren't going in areas staying overnight where you would normally experience altitude sickness more commonly, which is more in the high 3,000 or 4,000 meter range overnighting. We will be passing those passes. So you will be going over passes, which are nearing 4,000 meters. However, you normally would not experience any symptoms when you go over passes because you're not staying there for long periods of time.
Mm.
Um, but that being said, it's in probably the 15 years that we have been, um, sharing Bhutan with our guests. There have probably been 2 cases or so in the valleys that we've had cases of people experiencing respiratory issues while in the valleys themselves. Uh, my response to that would be obviously all of our guides are first response, emergency response trained, but then there are hospital facilities in nearby to every location that we'll be visiting. So every single valley has hospitals. If it's something very extreme, obviously we have helicopter services to reach the valleys as well. Um, and we, in the case of something that is that requires very severe attention, you would either be brought to a lower level valley, or we can always exit Bhutan. Now, I'm talking very extreme scenarios. We've never had any of those cases before. The reality is that when you're coming to Bhutan, you will be in altitudes that aren't at those levels where people normally experience these symptoms. So you shouldn't really feel these effects at all. Now, you will feel a little when we're doing our walks. You will feel in the earlier days that they're a little more challenging than normal potentially. And so the way to prepare for that is before you arrive, if you don't want to feel that way, is just do more walks outside, or if you're nearby places where you can do little day hikes, do those. But really, just walking beforehand will help you with the walks that we do in country. But all that being said,
Mm.
the walks that we'll do in country we've intentionally planned it so that you'll be working your way up on the walks that you'll be doing, so that the final walk that you do to Tiger's Nest, you'll be well acclimatized and prepared for it. So just walking beforehand. And then the other thing that people do very rarely, but people do bring it if they do have concerns, is obviously their medicines that are available for altitude. I'd say the majority of people will not take that, but if you do have concerns, then that's another option.
Okay, that's helpful. That that connects to the next question that we have because it's regarding Tiger's Nest. Now, just when we look at the photos of Tiger's Nest and the footage of
Yeah.
Tiger's Nest and oh my gosh, all the steps to get up there and everything.
Mm-hmm.
One might have the concern that, oh my gosh, suppose the participant, the guest, the traveler feels like, oh my gosh, they can't do the whole trek. Well, you just explain a part of it, that there will be a type of ramping up, a type of incremental, I guess we could say steps, no pun intended, but incremental parts of the journey where we will become more and more and more and more used to longer times for hiking and walking and so forth. Now, I guess the question can be broken into three parts. Yes, of course, if if we want to go all the way to the maximum. And my understanding is we cannot actually enter the monastery, but we get kind of close. Is that correct?
You can actually enter the monastery, but you have to have the long sleeves worn. The attire should be appropriate, and yeah, guide will guide you inside the monastery. You can get inside and get the blessings and meet the lamas, so you can interact with lamas as well. So yeah, it's it's totally uh, given the permission to get inside there.
So okay, we'll see. There you go. So we can go all the way up. That's of course that's what
Yes.
that right. That's like the icing on the cake. And then
Mm-hmm.
if for whatever reason someone feels this is one of the questions that I want to cover,
Mm-hmm.
that they feel well they can't really handle the trek
Awesome.
100% to get to the monastery, but they want to go like part of the way, or like
Mm-hmm.
what are the different options if there are any?
Okay. Okay, if they want to do the hike halfway, we have the Mountain View Cafe. So there is the viewpoint where
Yeah.
you can have the full view of the monastery and you can rest. And if you don't want to do the full trek, you can just rest there and wait for the others to come down. And you can also have the view of the monastery fully. You can have a leisure time and yeah, wait for the others to come and hike down back together with them.
And in addition
Right.
to that, also, if people would, so if they would not like to do the trek at all, let's say that
Yeah.
you to, let's say you do the first few days in country and realize that you would not like to, then you can just tell us the day before or
Yeah.
the morning of, and when the guests go and do the hike, then there are many other things in Paro that we can do, whether it's visiting different monasteries or sightseeing or shopping, or
Yeah.
we can also have a substitute day as well if people feel like it's not for them.
Okay, that's good because at least there are options within options. Like what is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. Like it's not like a one size fit all. And
Mm-hmm.
there's no like 100% expectation that everybody is going to do everything, or
Mm-hmm.
that everyone has to perform at 100% of whatever is on the itinerary. So I just wanted to reassure anyone who has that question that there are
Mm-hmm.
options within options. I guess the way I would
Yeah.
phrase it.
You can always tell the guide. He will manage everything before the day. So he will manage everything. You can get to the base. All of you can get to the base. How the ones who want to trek can go up, and who doesn't want to do the trek can go. The vehicle will be available, so they can just stroll through the Paro town and yeah, have a leisure time with the driver.
Cool, cool. Okay, we
Yeah.
have one more question regarding hikes,
Hmm.
and then we're going to get off of that topic,
Okay.
and move down to regular regular altitude questions. But
Okay.
the next question is regarding crossing like a suspension bridge. I think that's a part of one of the options on the itinerary as well. But again, like it's not so much that it's an altitude question like the other questions, which of course are very important too. It's more of like, like being afraid of heights, I guess. And
Height.
so we want everybody, to feel comfortable as best as each of us can. So my question regarding this next question is like the suspension bridges. Like if someone is thinking, they haven't gone yet, of course, but they're wondering if like the suspension bridges might be something that they might consider, be thinking about. Like what would you say to someone who's wondering about like crossing the suspension bridge?
Sure.
Okay, Matt. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so it's, I mean, first of all, just going back to the same answer that we had before, if there's anything that anyone is absolutely not comfortable with and they wouldn't like to do, then we have
Yeah.
options that we can make available.
Yeah.
Mm. But just overall, thinking of the whole trip that you all will be journeying on, I think the only places where there might be concerns about that is when you're on the suspension bridge, like you mentioned. And then the only other thing to mention, just to be aware of, and it's good to know on the trips, is that Bhutan is a very mountainous place, and so while we're very fortunate that we have very well developed roads, it is windy roads. So just be prepared for when you go on these travels between the districts that while they may not necessarily be cliffside roads, they are just like windy, turny mountain roads. So you will be traveling a lot on that type of terrain. As far as heights go, I mean, really, I think the only one that you will be experiencing it is the suspension bridge, and I suppose Tiger's Nest as well, because while there aren't any exposures, there are areas that you are, for example, going down a stairwell. Um, and so, again, it's up to the guests if they'd like to do it. But all of these, both of those two locations that we mentioned are very well taken care of because they're actively used both by guests and locals alike. I mean, the suspension bridge, for example, it connects two points of the valley. So as you walk the suspension bridge, which is really fun, I do encourage you to do it. You'll be passing villagers who are walking on the bridge as well to get from point A to point B. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think the answer is if is that Bhutan's infrastructure is very, very, very well taken care of. But if you have that fear of heights, which will prevent you from wanting to do it, then you certainly don't have to.
Okay. Okay. Now you mentioned a monastery, and that's one of the other questions that I want to cover. So, for example, when there's personal free time, what is it possible for us as guests in the country to visit a monastery on our own during free time, or do we need permission? Do we need to you know, g- ask, for your help to do that during free time? How does that actually take place if it's something that, some of us want to do?
Sure. So you can be visiting locations. You will have a guide and driver with you 24/7 or available with you 24/7. Let's say you'd like to go. Let's say you're in Thimphu town and you want to go and stroll down Thimphu's main district and just see the local life and the shops.
Mhm.
Then you can go ahead and do that. Usually, it's just more of Bhutanese hospitality for the guide and driver to offer to bring you around and to just make sure that they can drive you back and that you have all of the um, comforts of the service around you. But if you'd like to go and do it on your own, you can go and do it. Um, it's a little challenging in many places though, because Bhutan is a very everything's quite spread out. And so it's difficult, for example, to be in your hotel unless you're in Thimphu, the main town, and to walk to different areas because things are quite far. And so it's more common, I'd say, to say, let's say you want to go to a monastery and have some alone time there, is that you'd still be driven there by the driver.
Okay.
But then maybe you'd walk up and enter on your own and spend the time there on your own, just because things are quite distant from each other. Um, but overall, if you'd like to go and have some alone time venturing, that's fine. It's just it's widely appreciated within the industry. Just if the guide is made aware, just in case there's anything that they need to help with, they can come and help.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so we talked about monasteries, and so one of the questions also is So we know that the Buddhism practice is very it's a big part of Bhutan's culture and spirituality. So the one of the questions is, do we have to be Buddhist to join the trip?
No, no, you definitely don't have to be Buddhist. So yeah, it's we welcome everyone from every religion. So Buddhist doesn't you don't have to be Buddhist at all.
Okay, okay. Just we just want to, cover that topic in case someone
Yeah.
wonders about it and they wonder, oh my gosh, I don't, they're just wondering about it. Okay, the next question is regarding clothing, Bhutanese clothing. So just again, based on research, I understand that Bhutanese people do wear traditional Bhutanese clothing in public, however, like coming from what we call the West, and like living in the
Yeah.
USA, we have a
Yeah.
situation where we are sometimes careful about wearing the clothing of other cultures because
Mm.
it could be called cultural appropriation, et cetera, things like that. Is it appropriate or inappropriate for guests in Bhutan to wear the local Bhutanese fashion or clothing?
Okay, regarding the national attire, you are very welcome to wear the national attire and stroll through the town. And we people, we Bhutanese will get very fascinated when we see the guest wearing the clothes. So yeah, you will have a very good experience if you wear the national attire, and all the Bhutanese will be looking at you, and yeah, they will be adoring you. So yeah, it will be very amazing to wear the national attire if you want to.
So is it pretty easy to like just go into a shop and just like, buy something, or do we have to have it like tailor
Yeah,
made or?
yes. No, you will have the every size will be it will be very available in the shops of the national attire. So guide will guide you if you want to have the national attire. You can hire it or you can buy it. It's
Oh,
totally upon you.
okay.
And you can, as Manisha said, you can buy them in shops. Other people do like to have them custom made and tailor fit
Yeah.
them before they arrive. So you can also like pre-arrange that
Yes.
and pre-order them if you'd like to have them made fit for you. But yeah, I mean, it's very, uh, it's very there's no cultural appropriation with that.
Yeah.
It's if you're dressed in national attire, people
Yeah.
come up and compliment you and are very happy that you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want us to be sure that we are
Yeah.
being respectful of the Bhutanese culture and traditions, and again, coming from the West, as people call this part of the
Yeah.
world, where many of us might be coming from. We may also have people from who are more familiar with that the eastern part of the globe. But I'm just,
Mhm.
I think it's a good question for us to cover. So thank you. And now we're gonna move to the topic of the visa, the process.
Mhm.
If you could just explain a little bit like what's involved with the Bhutan visa, that's covered as a part of the trip organization, that you are doing for this journey. So, what do we as guests need to know and understand about the Bhutan visa process?
Visa process is very easy. You just have to give us the passport copy and the headshot for the visa, and we will apply for you guys. And yeah, it will be just 5 days working day for the visa to be accepted and approved. So you will have in a week. You will have the visas in a week. We will apply the visas for you guys, so there is nothing
Yeah.
to worry.
And
Okay.
it's an e-visa, so you print it.
Uh,
After that process, it would just be sent to you digitally. You print and then you carry it.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. That's easy. Okay. And then we have this question here about the airline ticket.
Mm.
So, do guests, I mean, I guess, what what would be the difference, or what would be your comments, about a question, if they can buy their own airline ticket for Bhutan, or is there an advantage in going through you, my Bhutan, to buy the ticket? Well, I guess how would a guest decide which one to do?
There are two airlines. There's Truk Air and there's Bhutan Airlines. So you can book with them. Very important along these lines as well. If anyone is traveling through Delhi or India, for that matter, make sure to get entry visas into India. Don't even get the transit visa, get entry visas. Because if you don't do that, you might have issues transiting there to Bhutan. Because you actually have to leave immigration to collect your bags to re enter to go to Bhutan. So you need an entry visa, and you need an entry visa that covers the duration, obviously, of both your arrival and when you return there. So make sure that you have the coverage on both sides. For most people, um, you probably won't have that issue if you fly through Thailand, but
Mm.
India, you might experience that. Um, Now, as far as booking, you can book direct with the airlines, or we'd be happy to help out. Um, Both are pretty similar. The only difference is if you don't want to spend the time doing the booking yourself, or if when you're in transit, if there are any issues with the booking, we're on ground already taking care of it. So let's say there's a flight change and it might impact your um, we know that your international flight won't allow you to make that connect. We'll be working with Drukair at the local office to try to get you on the flight later that day or the following day. So it's just kind of the only advantage would be us doing that work while you're in air.
Yeah, so there's more support. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So this next question um is related a little bit to what you explained a few minutes ago regarding, like, uh that the different places in Bhutan can be a little bit spread out. So the next question is, are the cities and towns on the itinerary walkable and safe for us to walk around during our free time, or will we need a taxi or transportation? I will just point out that, the word safe comes up a lot in travel, because many of our solo travelers who join group trips are women, and sometimes for us women, we do wonder and think about safety, and it's a
Mhm.
question that is brought up a lot in different forums discussing travel. And so, yeah, so the question is, is it okay to walk around, or is it better to ask for transportation or get a taxi? What would you say?
Okay, regarding this, if your hotel is near the town, it's very easy for you to stroll around and go around. There is no problem. But if your hotel is not around the town, you will need guide and driver. And not the guide, but the driver who will just pick you up and drop to the town, and you can have a stroll through around and walk around alone. You can definitely do that. Town is very small and the towns are very small. You will not get lost at all. So yeah, you can see around and stroll through around. So it will not be a problem as being a woman. So yeah.
And it's
Okay,
also,
that
and just to talk about, you had mentioned taxis. I mean,
right.
you could certainly do that, but I mean, you have your driver even for matters that aren't related to the itinerary itself.
Okay.
So even if the itinerary finishes and you want to go and do something, even if it's just you independently, the driver can take you. And as far as safety goes, I mean, Bhutan is rated in the top 10 safest countries in the world every year, so it's very safe.
Yes, yes, that's good. Yeah, and you were mentioning like if the hotel is near the town or
Mhm.
not. So I just want to say, so all of the accommodation is included as part of the journey and as part of the package, the whole retreat and the trip. And so I guess because we will be in different hotels in different locations, like Manisha was saying and Matt was saying, it depends on which particular town we happen to be in, or city, or hotel. That will be the determinant as to how close it is to the town or not.
Mm.
Because, for example, as part of the itinerary, I know, like a farm stay is also as a part of the itinerary, and so that could be one example, is what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
where the hotel or the accommodation may or may not be near the town or the city. Yeah. Okay, great. So then I just have two more questions here to wrap this up, and then I will hand it over
Sure.
to Matt and Manisha to, um, you know, um, circle us around here. Regarding currency and paying in local currency or not.
Mhm.
So as a part of the journey, to join the journey, the price, it includes all the accommodation. Um, you know, almost every single meal is included. I think there might be like one or two meals that are not covered because of the itinerary. And that would be an opportunity to, maybe have a meal somewhere else if that's, something that interests all of us. And so all the transportation is covered, the visits and everything that are part of the program and the itinerary. And so it's regarding like any purchases that we would make, let's say in the shops or anywhere. Do we change into the local Bhutanese currency? Are US dollars accepted? Are euros accepted? What would you say to that?
So it depends where you are. The Right when you arrive, there's an ATM if you'd like to take out local currency before you pass through customs and immigration. So before you even go through the immigration counters, right when you enter into the airport, there's an ATM in the corner. You might have to ask someone where it is, but it's right when you enter to the left. Um, People can use Nultrum and USD. USD will be accepted in most all places, but conversion rates will vary depending on who you speak with.
True.
That being said, Nultrum is not exchangeable once you leave Bhutan. So make sure that whatever you take out is not something that is in excess, because then you will have to convert it before you leave, reconvert it before you leave. And so it's just be conscious of that, to take out the amount that you hope and intend to spend. And then there are places where you can use cards now as well, and that's growing throughout the country. So a lot of places you can do that. So really, in Thimphu and Paro, you'll find more access to those facilities. Punakha, you might find a few more cash-based places as well as Ha. Um, and then and then as far as exchanges go, I mentioned the ATM in Paro Airport, but then Thimphu is probably the most reliable for ATMs afterward. Also, if anyone is, for example, going to India beforehand or has rupees, those are also accepted in country. So that could be an alternative as well.
Okay. Okay, great. And one final question that we have. So what if we as guests want to stay in Bhutan a few days after our Bhutan Happiness Journey? Can you, my Bhutan, can you help with that? Or what would you say to that?
Actually, we for the trip, if you want to extend, we have to have pre-plan that before we book the flights or the visas, because the visa we have to mention the dates of arrival and the departure. So we have to pre-plan the extension trip before visa application.
Yes, good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay, well, those were our questions for today's session. I guess what I will do now, first of all, I just want to again say thank you to everyone who's going to watch this replay of this Q&A session. And of course, when you see this replay, you're going to know how to get in contact with me, Angel. And then once you get in contact with me, and we wrap up, the first part of the process to sign up for the journey, for the Bhutan Happiness Journey, then you will be in contact with my Bhutan, with the team of Manisha and Matt and their team to finalize the rest of the trip. And so with that, I'm gonna hand it back over to my Bhutan and let you all kind of just say some closing words before we end the session today. So thank you. Back over to you all.
Okay. So yeah, Matt.
Go ahead, Manisha.
Okay, we are really looking forward this for the trip to happen, and we are really excited to welcome you all. And yeah, we have a lot to give back to you, and you will get the best memories of Bhutan, and you'll have the very great experience trip to Bhutan. So yeah, thank you. That's all.
Thanks, Manisha. Yeah, I think I'm just echoing Manisha, really excited for you all to come and see Bhutan and spend time with everyone and learn about what's happening in country. But I think Bhutan's a really interesting place where everybody always comes uh, for different things, right? You hear of the festivals, you hear of the nature and the outdoors and the wildlife, and you hear of the how it's a beautiful place for walks and culture and history, and obviously all of that exists very, very strongly. But I think everybody leaves they and it's something that they're not thinking of when they're planning so much. But I think everyone leaves realizing that it's the people in Bhutan that make Bhutan so unique and so special, and just the you have to think. I mean, Bhutan in many ways is a small family, right? And so it's the way that people um, interact and are with others, and just that kind of like shared heart system that exists in Bhutan. And so I think everyone leaves coming thinking of all of the amazing things that Bhutan has to offer, which it does, and it's the people that and the friendships that they build that you walk away with that that are that are that live the longest. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much, Matt and Manisha. Thanks everybody again for watching this on the replay. And I'm gonna stop the recording. So just give me a moment for that. Stop recording.